Okay.
Perfect. You got it, guys. So I'm going to share it. Let me know if you see the presentation of why Tulum. If you are able to see it, just let me know.
Yes, I can see it.
I can see it.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, so why Tulum? We decided Tulum because after us being building in Mexico City, we are Mexican born and raised, Adrian and myself. I'm an investment banker by profession, and Adrian is a constructor by profession. His family has been in this business for the past 70 years, 70. His grandfather started the construction company. He's a third generation, and he himself has over 20 years experience constructing, mostly in Mexico City, a 22 million people city, but it takes you right now a lot to actually start a project. It could take you a couple of years just to start the project, and then another couple of years or 3 years to develop it. So the return on investment is divided between in 5 years. So even though we continue, I'm a partner of his here in Mexico City as well, in a minor percentage. We decided to go abroad and actually investigate where we could do business. So with his experience, Adrian traveled all the way to Mexico to, you can name it, Los Cabos, Puerto Escondido, San Miguel de Allende, Mérida, all these popular towns in Mexico City to actually in Mexico to actually see what was best. You know, where can we invest our money, regardless of selling apartments? Where can we invest our money in land? And everything took us back to Tulum because of several reasons that I'm going to tell you why. But I just wanted to tell you that we didn't pick Tulum just because we like Tulum. We picked Tulum because we investigated the whole Mexico City, the whole Mexico country, and the southern part of the US. And based on our experience, particularly Adrian's, we decided to go back to Tulum. So a bit of a quick brief of where is it located in the peninsula of the Yucatan that you guys have gone. If you go deep into a zoom in, it's an hour and 40 minutes from the Cancun International Airport. So you go through all the way to Playa del Carmen to the south, and then you get to Tulum. Within Tulum, Zizal, the apartment complex that we're selling, it's within the town of Tulum. Now, this is assuming now that you are in Tulum. We are in the middle of the downtown, which is right here, Tulum Centro. This is downtown, the first thing you find when you drive all the way from Cancun. And then it's right at the north of the beach. All this part that I'm signaling here with the mouse, where it says Tulum Beach, is where all the Instagrammable stories of Tulum happen, and maybe where you guys have already been in the cool hotels and restaurants and the beach clubs. This is the strip. So as you can see, Zizal Tulum is particularly located between downtown and the strip. And the idea of us picking this lot is because Tulum is not only going to the beach or going to a beachfront property and having a restaurant there. Right now, Tulum, you can go to a cenote, you can go to Playa del Carmen, you can go to the southern part of the state. So Tulum is much bigger now. You can go to a yoga weekend. You know, you can go to so many different activities that people have adopted Tulum, and being the beach, only one of those activities, if you know what I mean. So we didn't want to pay for a premium lot of being beachfront, because we would have to build apartments with I don't know, maybe $1.5 million dollars worth, and it's a different market. It's a market that we don't want to attack because it's not even that profitable because of the hassle of being in the beachfront. So we decided to go to Zizal, which is within the 15th region, which is right here, which has pretty much a bit of all, has a splendid price for the location that you are using. And just to put things into perspective, an apartment that we are selling here between $200,000 or $300,000, the same apartment, it's worth almost $1 million or even north of $1 million right here, which is called Aldea Sama. Aldea Sama was the first development that was built in Tulum. It's a big development with lots of apartments, but the prices, it's, you know, in the multiples of times more expensive. And the difference in time from Zizal to Aldea Sama, it's maybe a 4-minute drive. So it doesn't make any sense. And I know by a fact that Aldea Sama is not going to go down on prices. So the only thing that leaves us is that this 15 region actually is going to go higher on prices because of the low. This place called La Veleta is another region. I believe this is the 10th region, 9th region. It just besides downtown Tulum. And this is all now all the trendy spots of restaurants have been establishing here. So are really conveniently located just below the highway. So as you can see, you don't have to go to the beach to actually live the Tulum life, you know. The Solistica, for example, it's in a hotel, really famous hotel that they've been establishing it in order to make it like a center for yoga. So all the people around the world, from Europe especially, go to Holistica to actually have these yoga sessions. So, I mean, to be honest, all the times that I go to Tulum, I don't even go to the beach, to be honest. So that's why we decided this particular location. In terms of the Tulum International Airport, I know that you guys are aware, but the government is building an airport. It's going to be a 28-minute drive from Zizal. Forget about Tulum, but from Zizal, it's a 28-minute drive, compared to the 1 hour and 40 minutes from Cancun International Airport. So for me, particularly, this airport is a whole game changer from Tulum. Back in the 70s, when my father or when my grandfather used to go to Cancun, actually Cancun was built based on Cancun Airport. And from that point, Cancun grew up to be what it is today. So we're right now seeing only the tip of the iceberg of the development of the second part, starting the first part being Cancun and Playa del Carmen. And now the second part for this new generation, the next 20, 30 years, is going to be from Tulum all the way to the south. And it starts right here, right now, with the Cancun International Airport. So a bit of the data that why we decided, part of the reasons why we decided to develop in Tulum. Tulum is in Quintana Roo. The state is Quintana Roo. The municipality is Tulum. So here on the right part of the slide, you can see the population growth rate. This data is obviously not our data. This is data from INEGI, the Instituto Nacional de Estadística y Geografía, which these guys go house by house to actually have the census. You know, every 10 years, Mexico makes a census. That's why you see it on span of 10 years. And right now, as you can see, Quintana Roo is the top 1 state in terms of population growth. And this has to do because of the 3 cities, which is Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum. So in terms of percentage, no state in Mexico grows as big as Tulum, as Quintana Roo. Now, if you go particularly to Quintana Roo, then right here on the left part of this chart, of this box, you see the municipalities of Quintana Roo divided. And here on number 9, the code number 9, it's Tulum. And Tulum, you can see that back in 2020, they used to have less than 50,000 people. Now, if you go all the way to Solidaridad is where Playa del Carmen, the famous Playa del Carmen, is. Solidaridad has less than 350,000. So you're talking about multiple of times what Playa del Carmen is compared to Tulum. And I don't have to tell you that if you go to number 5, which is Benito Juárez, this is where Cancun is located, in this municipality, Cancun. You have almost 1 million people in Cancun. Now, the important thing here is that the government put the urban planning of Tulum. They divided Tulum, and given the size how it is, the good thing about this is that it's not growing all the way from the beach towards the highway, but it started north of the beach within the highway. So the whole area of Tulum is as big as Cancun. So On the next 30 years, you can easily see Tulum developing little by little, and especially given this new airport, but it has the size of being able to get to 1 million people. So I can tell you, I can put you to the test of telling me which city that actually is famous and it's growing and have these infrastructure projects can go from 50,000 people to potentially 1 million people in the next 30 years. Believe me, there are few within the world. Now, Tulum in Mexico, out of the 32 states that we have in Mexico, in Mexico as a country, we have 2,500 municipalities, okay, within these 32 states. Tulum ranks in the top 5 in terms of growth and activity. So you're talking about something that it's cooking, that it used to be speculation 20 years ago, but given the fact that all the Riviera Maya started to grow from the north to the south, then it's no longer a speculation, and it's just a wave that we're riding. Here in the middle, you can see how Benito Juárez, which is Tulum, which is Cancun, is right in the yellow, and then you go all the way to Solidaridad, which is Playa del Carmen, and then Tulum is the third one. So the population is growing from north to south, if you can see it, if you can see it in this diagram. So that's pretty much why the population and the growth aspect, we decided to go to Tulum. Now, on the next slide, you have the numbers, and I was amazed when we found out these numbers, to be honest. This is made by the Airports Council International, and Cancun was climbed from 2019 all the way to 2021 to the 10th the 10th busiest international passenger ranking. So you will never see Atlanta here. Atlanta Airport has 75 million passengers per year, but this is mostly locals, okay? Here is all the international passengers, and Cancun is amazingly ranked number 10, you know, after all these super mega cities. So it can tell you about the potential, you know, all the Europeans, Canadians, Americans, everybody goes to Tulum, and it's amazing. Actually, Adrian just came yesterday from Tulum, and he could tell you that, you know, the Cancun airport was as busy as hell. Now, the last reason, in my view, why this trade makes a lot of sense for the years to come is because of this. Regardless of what I told you, the government, it's pouring money into the Maya train that maybe you guys heard about it. Literally, the Maya train will go all around the peninsula, going from different towns. One of the towns obviously is going to be Tulum, Playa del Carmen, and Cancun, and it's going to be divided in certain stages. There's a lot of politics around it, a lot of people going against the president because they don't want him to build these mega infrastructure projects, but the guy is stubborn as hell. And believe me, if he canceled the Mexico City airport because he wanted to cancel it, he wants to do a Maya train, he will do a Maya train. And this is a $15 billion project in the next few years. So the pumping of money is going to be crazy, and you can see it right now. And the last, in less perspective, is the Tulum airport that I told you that it's going to be almost a $1 billion project. That's going to start by the end of this year, beginning of the 2024, and again, that will change the facade to Tulum as the international airport of Cancun did it to Cancun. And the last reason, and the most important, is because it's just beautiful. I know you guys have gone, but you know, the beaches, the jungle, everything is just it's a different level being in Tulum, in my view. And the prices that you actually pay for being in Tulum compared to maybe Dominican Republic, as we've been talking to Megan lately, it's amazing how cheap the Mexican land is still there, you know. So that's pretty much why the Tulum why presentation. Before actually, maybe we wanted to go into several different projects. Megan, I don't want how you take it, but I don't want just be this a monologue. Maybe you want to go and with some questions.
Do you have any questions, anyone on the call, on what we just went over?
Do we know when the airport is finishing?
When? By the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, that's the plan. Construction. yeah, construction inside it's already being but to be honest, we don't know exactly when, but we know that we're going to be able to host up to 4 million passengers per year.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So Crystal, we found out this morning that the last unit was reserved at Zizal.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Crystal?
yes.
Okay. We just found that the last one was reserved this morning, but we're happy to go over Zizal as part of the portfolio of projects and the first one in the Tulum market. But we also can introduce a preliminary overview of the second. It's a beautiful project, a little closer to the beach. You tell us how you'd like to work on next steps with the presentation.
All right, guys, so Robin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so Zizal, so they sold the last unit this morning. So
Yeah,
that,
Megan just said that.
yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and look over another project. And we can go forward with that.
Okay, great.
Maybe what we can show it's what Zizal is. Why? Because the second project that we're gonna have, we still don't have the marketing material, you know. So we don't have anything but just a small sketch to actually show you, so you can have a sense. But you can see based on, I mean, Zizal, that's the purpose of why we did Zizal. Zizal was going to be our best-selling project, you know, it's the first one, and you can see how we do things and the kind of project that we have, and thank God we had a really successful project right now because everything is sold out. But this is what we do, you know. Zizal, it's a different project. It's a super private project filled around with the jungle. With really luxurious finishes, everything in marble, really good wood, and you have 2 stages here in Zizal. The lower stage with 6 units. Actually, I'm going to take you to this render that you can see it here better.
Oscar,
Yeah.
I reviewed the renderings with them for Zizal yesterday.
Okay.
So do you have anything that we can review for or just give them a brief overview of what it would look like? Because I know these are luxurious and they're more villa style, and the we are more.
I will show you to you.
Okay.
Okay. Can you show
Adrian.
us? Hey, how are you, Crystal?
Good.
I wanted to show you the next project, that is the 42 apartments.
Right.
So, Oscar, can you show what we were showing the other?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to show you first just the like a sketch, right, Adrian? The sketch of
Yeah,
the 30.
all the floor plans. We have the construction plans already, and the first render, the one that is inside render.
Okay, I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to show you specifically and only the sketch now. This is not ready for marketing material, Cristal and the rest of the party, but so you guys, this is
We get a preview.
yeah, this is kind of the preview of the idea and the conception, which is going to be a different kind of project. In this top part, this is going to have a lot of changes. Mind me for that, but and this top part is going to be a huge area of really cool and top amenities, and in the bottom part are going to be all the apartments. You have to imagine this, that everything around this lot is surrounded by jungle, right? And it is, and then you will have these apartments in the middle, and in the top part a full area of big amenities, really nice cool amenities. Something like this. These are all sketches, and we will have the new render really soon, but maybe you can have a sense of what we're expecting. Actually, this is a real render. This was the first render that we got. And this would be how the interior of the apartments would look like. Really cool tones, like in soft and beige. Not far from what we did in the Zizal #1, to be honest. I think we had a really a phenomenal success. So we wanted to translate the first project into the second one with its own particularities, but you can see that the sense is pretty much the same. Really cool lighting, and even though it's smaller in terms of size, the units is going to be tremendous. And you don't have to have such a cool amenities or personal amenities of Zizal #1, because on the top part you'll have a really cool. It's going to be in the fourth or fifth floor, no, Adrian, the amenities, which will be really nice.
Yes, that's correct. Just send you the right of the oven, the new renders, 2 renders.
Yeah.
I have this to no one, so you.
Nobody has seen this, guys. So, but we're showing it to you, and maybe we can do like a kind of a preview, like a premium,
Yes.
like a selling for you guys, Megan.
I like to use. I like to use this
It
time.
looks beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I like
Can-
I like to use this time that we have to focus in this project, because this project we haven't sold any we haven't sold not one. So and there are 42. I think we can make the best of our time by explaining this project.
Yes, agreed.
So
can we
yeah.
go over the amenities, and do we have a price list for these yet? And how many 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms?
You will have it. Yeah, the price list is around $150, but
Okay.
you will have it really soon. But I want to explain the floor plans.
Yes.
Can you open, Oscar?
Yes.
Do you
So when
do you have a name for this project yet? I'm sorry, I stepped away.
I thought of one that
Okay.
is Plenitude. I don't know if you like it. This can be a small focus group, but
Okay.
you like the name Plenitude?
Plenitude.
Wait,
You like Zizal better, right?
You like to sell better.
It's
I mean,
okay.
We don't know. The truth is, we don't know the name yet. I haven't talked this with Oscar, but I was
everyone on
thinking
the call, this is very exciting to be a part of behind the scenes beginning,
yeah.
stages
And
I
of
was
projects.
And look, guys, and to be honest, and the difference of working with us, and Megan is witness of that, is that Adrian has a lot of experience in this business, but you're talking right now with the 2 developers, so we can change things. And I mean, we just did the first one, and we're about to deliver it by December, and it's already sold out. But I mean, I've had tons of calls that Megan has put in front of me, because even though normally the developers are not used to it, but it's just like doing it a small business, but it's not so small because we're about to sell like 100 apartments. But my point is, we are into this, so it's easier for us to work with you guys for what you need for potential clients. So happy to accommodate.
Yes, exactly. For us, it's really important your feedback. So I will explain it quickly. This is the top part of the building. This is where the amenities will be. We will have an infinity pool, and we will have a gym. Well, a TRX gym, and some amenities at the rooftop. Then there will be 8 apartments that will have its private rooftop. Well, maybe less, because I want one of those. But well, can you show the next floor? Well, these floors are all the same. All the 42 apartments will have their own private plunge pool. As you can see in the floor plans, most of them are 1-bedroom apartments with a really big bathroom, kitchen, living room, and a terrace, a good sized terrace. The ones at the top, you can enter directly to your private rooftop. That's why we have the stair that looks like a circle. And we will also have 2-bedroom apartments that will be, of course, more expensive because there are more square meters. So you can see that, right, at the corner units.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 corner units.
Yeah, that's why they have 2 bedrooms. I know you are all used to seeing floors, so but any question, please. And the other
I'm sorry, how many units did you say in total?
42.
Okay.
And in 4 floors. And the 5th floor is the amenities.
So how many square meters are we thinking towards for the 1 bedroom and for the 2 bedroom?
Around 50 for the 1 bedroom and around 80 for the 2 bedroom. You will have all the information next week. Yeah.
And how far, I think one of the questions I got yesterday was how far from the beach?
Can you
This
show the
particular
location,
project.
Oscar, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna show the location.
Can you show? Well, let's end this presentation. Just can you show the lobby?
Yeah. 1 second.
The ground floor will be. Well, we will have a lobby with a double height.
Where is it? No.
Yeah, that's the one. You will enter. We will have a lobby with a double height, that will be really cool. I'm planning on putting some water falling from the ceiling, and crazy stuff. But yeah, it will be really cool. And most of all the apartments, as you can see, the ground floor will be also better than the middle, because they will have a garden, a private garden, and a big pool. So yeah, I don't know if I will keep one of the bottom ones or the top ones, and I'm sure Oscar will also will be deciding something like me.
Talking about the pools?
Sorry?
Are you talking about keeping the pools?
No, keeping one of the apartments for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
keep
we'll-
both of them. That's
and also we will have a pool, as you can see, in the ground floor. I'm all the amenities will be in more detail next week, but I wanted to show you.
Now maybe we can go through the location. And sorry guys, we don't have a presentation ready for you, but you're having the premium, the first and foremost a showing of this new apartment building. And again, I think we have to do a small party, a small party for you guys, Megan, so we can actually present it before going live. Because as you can see, especially when you have a smaller ticket, these smaller tickets are even more popular, right? Are easier to actually sell, right? So give me 1 second. I'm just preparing where are we gonna be. Give me 1 second. We still don't have it in Google Maps, right, Adrian? The location?
Yes, we have it. I can send it to you.
I mean, okay, if you can send it to me so I can put it. I'm just
Yes.
gonna give you where, look, you guys are seeing right now the map?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom out so you guys can actually see where Zizal Tulum is, okay? This is just live Google Maps, so sorry for that, but so this is Zizal Tulum, right in the middle, right? Between the beach and the...
There, you have it now.
Perfect. And now I'm gonna tell you guys where's the new one, the new baby.
So how far is this? This is not too far because we were there on
It's
Sunday.
900 This is 900 meters, Cristal.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
Let's
Much closer.
just give me 1 second. I just want to put Zizal so you guys are able to see both. Okay.
Right, this is not too far from Zizal, and then it's there you go.
Falls 2 kilometers away.
Yeah, so it's preliminary. So sorry for the raw preparation.
Here, it's
But-
fine. That's fine.
Here you have two beautiful things. One is that from Zizal to the beach to the Kukulkan street is really near. I mean, you have a couple of minutes drive. From the new development all the way to the you can see it. There are 2 blocks away actually. So that's phenomenal because it could tell you it's way easier to get here. And then from once you get to the Kukulkan Avenue all the way to the beach, I can tell you it's like a 4-minute drive or less, you know.
That's
because-
great.
Yeah.
Because what you see, I'm not sure that in the 5th floor we're gonna be able to see the sea. Maybe it's too much to see it, but you can almost see the sea, no, Adrian, from the 5th floor. You will not be able to see it, but it's almost there, I think.
Yes, I send you a photo of a drone. Oscar, if you can open it.
Okay, let me.
And
stop
Oscar,
sharing.
Adrian, how many
Yes.
2-bedroom units are there gonna be? I think I missed that part.
Only 4.
Four, because they're the corner units.
Yes.
Okay,
Look, this is the drone photo of the 4th or 5th floor.
No. This is much higher.
Oh, much higher. Sorry.
This
No,
is
yeah,
much
I
higher.
can tell you. Yeah.
But you will get a partial view. That's what everybody is selling. The truth is that they're gonna build another apartment sometime in front of us, and you cannot gonna see the sea. But some people use it that you will have a partial view of the sea to sell. And we will send you a video of the drone and everything you need to sell. But yeah, this is a
Now-
preview.
This is just the Kukulkan Avenue that takes you to the beach. As you can see, just a quick drive, and then there are a couple of curves that start, and then this is the beach, you know? Now, building right here in this zone will get you this apartment of 150K all the way to 1 million, you know? So driving like 3 minutes to the beach and
That's Crystal.
being able to get a 150K apartment versus 1 million, it's kind of a no-brainer, especially, and this is a really important selling point. Not everyone that goes to Tulum wants to go to the beach. You know, maybe you go once, maybe you go twice, but there are a lot of things to do in Tulum. So that's the most important selling point in my view. And literally, I can tell you guys, the times I've gone to Tulum, I'm not going to the beach. I do several other stuff. For beaches, I go to somewhere else. But if you go to party, then you will go to that beach, you know. But you don't want to live right where the party is. You know what I mean? So
Well, we had a
that's why-
great time, like just around the corner at Palma Central, and we did a lot of things off the beach, and we had a great time. So I agree.
Exactly. That's why we decided to go this one, because I'm kind of an all-in guy, and I told Adrian, I want a beachfront. Let's do a beachfront, and this started because we wanted to do a beachfront.
Mhm.
But then the experience comes into place, and that's Adrian's experience, and that's where he tell me. But it doesn't necessarily is the best business, and it's the best thing in Tulum, blah blah blah. And he sold the project to me, and he couldn't be more correct. You know, the correct thing in Tulum is establishing this area to have a bit of both, but
Right.
being able to still have quiet place within the jungle.
So is this the photo you have up, just out of curiosity? Is there a lot of land that's for sale? Is this all already owned and it can all be built? Is there a height variance? Like what, is this all
It's a
gonna be
great.
built at one
It's
point?
a great question. To your question, yes, it's all divided, and supposedly eventually it will be all built. It will
Well, no, that's not totally correct. There's a big part that is manglar. I don't know the name in English, but
yeah, is this part, no, Adrian?
Preserve.
it is yes, a reserve area, but
Yes.
manglar is a different
Soil.
so yeah, no, it's a different vegetation. Yeah,
Oh, like
yeah,
mangroves?
flora.
Mangroves?
Yeah, mangroves. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so they're
Exactly.
protected like here in Florida. You can't build.
Yeah, it's similar to Florida, but this a big chunk of land of that. So there will always be a part that is not constructed between the beach and us. Also, the
It's this, no,
actually
Adrian? It's the one that I'm signaling here. As you can see, and it's even different. With this is the 8th region. We're selling the 15th region in Zizal. This is the 8th region, 8th. Within the 8th region and the beach, it's this part that is right here. That it's actually, this is the Siancan Reserve all the way through here. This will always be green. This will always have to be green. I was telling you about the 8th region, which is pretty much this block all the way through here. It's
exactly.
divided.
That's correct.
But all the way through here, you will never see construction in all this part. You will never see it. Okay.
And even
I
in the
have a-
beach, as Megan saw, and there's not tall buildings on the beach like in Cancun or Miami.
Right.
You cannot build that. There are a really tough restrictions on the beach that you cannot build anything big, and also a small part of the land you can build it. The other one you cannot build it. So that's why you can see that there's nothing, not only in the reserve, but also on the sea, because on the sea there are a lot of hotels.
Right.
But that's the spirit of Tulum, that not only the tourism is consciousness, the also the developers and also the government in Mexico. Amazingly, I think we're a progressive city. I love Boulder and also San Francisco and all these sort of progressive cities. But I think that's one of the main attractions of Tulum. That yeah, there's a lot of yoga and this yeah progressive way of thinking.
I think that's very appealing. That's and they still are utilizing the trees and the landscaping, which
Abe, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Right. I know you had some questions yesterday. You want to go ahead and ask in regards to the title?
Yeah. So, well, yeah. My God. Okay. I know a lot of things now are going to change because it's the different property. So what's the time horizon on this property?
What's the time for what? Sorry.
When do you think this will be completed?
Okay. I will also give you the date next week, but this project is a bigger project, so around 2 years from now.
Okay, so the question had to do with just the way financing works in
Yes.
Mexico. Could you kind of walk us through how that would work?
Yes, the same in the US. There are banks and also private funds, and also yeah, the same and the US. We normally use when we make big developments in Mexico City, we have to finance through banks or with partners. Actually, we have partners in Miami that is called Peninsula Investments that they
Adrian, but hey, you meant for the client, no?
Yes.
I meant for the client. Okay.
Yeah, for the client, sorry. You meant for the client. Well, the client in Mexico, in this sense, what we're okay, regardless of how it works in Mexico, we need a down payment here of 30%. Okay, a
Okay.
reservation of $5,000, and then we sign a buying and seller agreement where the client deposits 30% upfront, and then we have a schedule to meet, maybe to pay the rest of the 20-30% throughout the construction. And when the unit is delivered to him, then he ends up with the final payment. Okay.
Yeah.
If the client's going to go through a credit, then if he's going to use a local credit, a Mexican bank, I don't know how the US banks work. Okay. But the Mexican banks, and they can have a credit, okay, with Mexican banks, because maybe there are a lot of Americans that actually have a Mexican bank account and they have a credit history. I don't know. What the bank needs is right at the end, when the development is up to develop all the way to the 70%, then that's when the credit can actually start to get processed. And when they have when they have all the paperwork and the title delivered, then the bank pays to us the remaining, and he starts with paying his own. That's with the Mexican banks and how we really have credit. We are working in parallel with a local fund, giving competitive prices in terms of what the local banks charge, but they have an increased risk appetite to actually to provide financing to your kind of clients, those clients that have a US credit history but not a Mexican credit history. This is a Mexican fund being able to actually, or open to actually provide financing. We haven't ended up the details, but precisely because we wanted to do this 42 apartment complex, and given the Zizal experience that a lot of accounts, a lot of clients didn't have maybe the money to actually buy the whole thing, we deciphered, or we wanted to find out that a local fund that actually could give us financing. We're this close, but once again, we're talking in this call with things that we haven't finished. So right now we're talking about the plans because it's looking really good. Actually, this fund started the first credit last week with this kind of credit scores, and we are about to be resolved whether these guys are willing to work in partnership with us. So when we talk to you guys and you talk to your clients, you can offer a credit embedded potential, locally. I think that will actually get you a lot of clients as well. But you have to consider that the regular ticket here is going to be 150K versus 300K in Zizal. So I don't know how useful is going to be credit when you have to actually put 50K up front and just finance 100K. Maybe we are, but we want to put you the option. But I think it's going to be easier for this one to sell given the ticket. But that, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. I guess, I know it's early. So I assume, I guess the question is I know you kind of explained that you're looking for a place to issue credit to team with on this project.
Actually, sorry
go
that
ahead.
I interrupt you. We already have and work with brokers that give credits to the Americans. But the thing is that the rate here in Mexico is around 10%. So it's much more higher than the one that they can get in America. So I think the easiest thing is that ask for credit in America to use it here. But yes, we can contact you with brokers that they have contact with all the banks, and they can give you the credit right now with 10%. Actually, one of Megan and Sarah's client is buying one apartment in Tulum with the same broker that help us with our clients in Mexico City. So that's not a problem, and you can offer that.
Yeah, the only thing that I wonder is as far as with using an American bank, and I brought this up yesterday during our call, is that from what I understand, in Mexico, the title is kept in a trust
Yes,
in
correct.
Mexico. So if I go to a bank in the United States and ask for a loan, they're going to want that title because they
Yes.
hold that as collateral.
Well, there are many ways of getting a credit in the US. That's not the only one. No, you can get it through other properties or other things. But yeah, I understand.
All right, that was just one of the questions that I had.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an option. It's just gonna cost you a little bit more on the rates. But you know, our rates went up here, so they've gone down a bit, but our rates are not the 2, 3 that we were used to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
getting,
and I mean,
getting a
in
property too, where I love development because you can see the vision just driving through every single street is going through construction. So it's not just on the return on investment if you're to rent it out as a vacation property, but it's also on the flip side down the line when you want to sell the property. So it may cost you in the beginning if you need capital in order to do the initial payment, but
yeah, the appreciation rate in Tulum will be really good. Not only the cap rate.
yeah, I mean, in reality, it's 10% is a high interest rate, but it's only what we're talking 10% on 100K over
right.
how many years? I guess I don't know how many years that would
Depends
be.
on the client.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they offer. How much?
Around 20 years, less than 20 years, no more than 20 years.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's really not that much. I just was trying to figure out in my mind how this would work.
Mhm.
No, it's a
Okay.
good question. Yeah.
Perfect, guys.
Do you have any other questions? Jennifer, Robin, Donna? What do you?
No, I don't
Yeah.
have any questions right now.
We can have another meeting anytime you want if you have more questions.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Any feedback?
When do you plan on starting? I know that you guys are still working on the renderings, but when are you slated to actually start building?
We will have more information next week, so maybe we can do another meeting.
Just for you, in this case, for you guys, the really troublesome part of construction in Mexico is actually having everything in place in terms of the title, the legality of the title, and then being able to build, right? The legality of the title of this lot, there's a lot of work up until this stage. We've been working on this lot for many months, and right now we're on that stage. So from this point forward, things don't take that much, fortunately. The whole thing, that's why we never talk about it and we focus on the first development. But right now it's a good timing to actually start talking about the second one, because all the legality, it's already sorted out. So with that, you have no problem. So you'll hear from us soon. And what we're gonna do with Megan and Sarah, it's organize like a kind of an opening of this project exclusively to you guys. So maybe you can have the first point, and let's see what we can come up to. No.
So when you say open up to us for a first point, you're referring to that when you're at that point that you can actually start selling the units,
exactly.
that we would be the first cohort to be able to receive the information.
If we organize a decent network of in this case of you guys, of brokers, we can show it to you at first, the first time we actually show it to everybody, and give some time so you guys can actually pick and be the first one. Our interest, Adrian's and myself interest, is to sell to someone like you in terms of the US, not much the Mexican market. Still, Zizal was 50-50, no, Adrian, in terms of customers, Mexicans and Americans, more or less.
Yes,
maybe
four Mexicans, and the rest, one was European, Puerto Rican, Americans. Yeah.
So in our best interest is guys like you that actually can promote it. And for you guys selling something for 150K versus $2 million in Miami, I think that I know that the ticket is small, but as Megan can be a witness, they moved much quicker. So we have 42 to play with right now. We will have.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Hey, I got our question. This is probably going to be a tough question. I know y'all have been doing this for years. My question is that, and this kind of is just the business side of me. How was your business affected during the housing crisis that we had in 08? Like as far as building? And the only reason why I ask this is because there's a lot of indicators that something like that might come up in the next couple of years. Do y'all see, what do y'all foresee as far as like when it comes to your ability to still construct and things like that?
It was the same phenomenon than in the US. People from New York migrated to Miami, even that they have sea. But what happened in Mexico City was a similar thing. People began to value life in the sea, and life in the nature. So, yeah.
I can tell you that based on my experience within Mexico City was back in 2008 when the housing crisis in the US happened. Mexico City has had its own vibe, its own rhythm. Mexico City was compared with that of Bogota in Colombia, with Sao Paulo in Brazil, with Santiago de Chile because of the LATAM nature. And Mexico City didn't have anything to do with the US housing crisis. They didn't affect it. What happened in Mexico City is that after 2008, Mexico City was lagging in terms of prices, and all of a sudden, it just exponentially, the prices increased, regardless of that of the US. It was compared against the rest of the Latin American cities. So to your question, it had no relationship at all with the US rhythm. Cities in Mexico City, as Los Cabos, for example, had everything to do with the housing crisis. So back in 2008, Los Cabos went through a depression, so to speak, and then came a couple of hurricanes that actually took them off, and they started to rebuild from the ground up. Because in this case, Los Cabos was or is 100% dedicated or related to the US cycle, because of its proximity. Now, if we go to Tulum and we go to the Riviera Maya, you have two phenomena in place. One is that the US has a tremendous influence on the Riviera Maya, but Europe has a tremendous influence as well on the Riviera Maya. It's not only dedicated to, in this case, to the Americans. And the third one is that the local tourism in Mexico is huge in the Riviera Maya. So you have kind of this in where the US is Los Cabos is not. Los Cabos is 100% US, it's coming from the US, so that's a direct impact. Part of the reasons we didn't like to actually build in Los Cabos was its proximity with the US and the dependence on the US, and two, because they don't have water, and in the Riviera Maya have a lot of water, and in terms of the economics, it has more independence, but clearly we can anticipate some heat. But the most important part that I'm seeing here, and that's in terms of the housing thing in the US, is that the regular American is not going to buy in Tulum. You have to have 150K, 250K spare to actually go buy in Tulum. That's a fact. You're not going to buy Tulum as your primary house. So that's why the kind of market that I'm seeing here in Tulum, based on these past 2 years experience, I don't want to say that they are just independent of what will happen in the US, but they are more reluctant or more defensive, not so sensitive to what the overall economic cycle in the US has been seeing. That's the part of the US, okay? We have a Polish girl that actually bought in the Zizal development. She couldn't care less about the US, but that's what you get in Tulum. If you go to the Cancun airport, and I know you've gone, but if you see all the destinations, there are more destinations from Cancun to Europe than from Mexico City. My point being is that the US is important, but not as important as, because you have the European influence, fortunately, and the local tourism. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well,
And the last thing that I would tell you is the growth per se. That's why we posted the White Tulum. It just have a natural vibe and a natural inertia that you're not seeing in the rest of the country. And you're talking about 130 million people in the country. It's not a small country, Mexico. Most of its growth is concentrated in the peninsula and in certain projects. And the third one is, regardless of the US deceleration of the housing, you have these infrastructure projects that either you want it or not, you're pumping 16 billion US dollars into the region. So I think, and that's our conclusion, that it was going to be defensive, even on a downturn. And it's turning out to be. To be honest, Zizal, we sold it out in 5 months, maybe 4 months. It sold out. So that's why we wanted to do. And to be honest, Zizal in the first one, in the first project, was not as profitable for Adriana and myself as it could have been. But we wanted to do a really good project, and boom, it sold out. This second project is going to be even more accessible. It's going to be profitable for Adriana and myself, obviously, but it's going to be on the line that we're not going to make the most out of it, but we're going to have a really competitive price. So when you add up all the features, that's why I think it is really correct. I mean, the conception of the project is really solid, you know?
yeah, no, the more question was, it wasn't really being US centric, as more as when you saw in 2008, you did see the housing market crash with the US, but you also saw financial problems with Italy. You saw Greece go bankrupt. So my question is that in a lot of people are speculating we might see something like that in the next year or two, where the whole globe gets affected in some way. My question was, is in Mexico, when all these financial problems started showing up around the world, how did it affect? Were y'all still able to continue to build, or were there delays?
Yeah.
That's kind of.
No, I can tell you that Mexico has had its own vibe, other than those particular cities that I'm telling you. Mexico City, which is the most representative because of 22 million people, we weren't affected in terms of construction because of the US and the deceleration. It has its own rhythm, and right now I can tell you that Mexico City decelerated because it accelerated through maybe 10 years with an amazing pace, but it had its own rhythm, and it wasn't affected because of offshore issues. In this case.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Abe, I think that's a very good question, which is truthfully why, I mean, South Florida, we can have a whole several hours of conversation on our market here, which is an anomaly within the US.
Yes.
However, why we felt so passionate about teaming up in Mexico and places like Dominican Republic is that people are anticipating there is going to be changes in the US, and that's why they're so interested in markets like Tulum and other emerging markets. In the event that does happen, you know, people with the pandemic, everything changed with being able to work. When we were in Tulum, I'm sitting next to someone from London, I'm sitting someone from Italy, you know, they're from all over the world, and many of them are working for a couple months virtually, you know, and they're still operating their businesses. So I think, you know, it's comparative to our market, which has exploded, the prices have gone up, being able to afford a property in somewhere like Tulum and having that appreciation, I think it's going to be a very strong market from, you know, our clientele here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, during the pandemic, it boomed in Tulum, the market.
Perfect, guys.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us on this Saturday morning. It was really nice to connect with you both. Thank you, Oscar and Adrian. Really appreciate your time. We will let you all know about our next, you know, private webinar. And if you have any questions, please let Crystal know. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very
Nice to
much.
meet you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Donna.
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Donna, I'll send over the recording as well, so you'll have that, okay?
Thank you. I
Also,
really
Megan,
appreciate it.
I
Thank
have
you.
another client that's interested as well. So if you could set, her name is Deidre. Polly Crystal has her information.
Thank you.
So if you can send the recording to her also.
Okay. Perfect. I'll
All
coordinate.
right,
Bye-bye.
thank you
Bye.
guys for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.